What we do here is go back.
Blend, formulated to give you the focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including the patented Neurofactor, with more than 10 different flavors to enjoy and start your day strong. Are you ready to try Dubby? Visit Dubby.gg today and use promo code ARROW, to save 10% on your purchase today. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Tune In Live today on this Sunday afternoon. Actually, it's Monday afternoon. Oh my god, I got my fucking days mixed up. So yeah, I got my days mixed up. So I did, I ended up calling out, well, didn't call out, I had put a PTO time in for yesterday to take off for a birthday party that I had yesterday for my stepdaughter and of course my fiance. They shared the party, but their birthdays are like 3 days apart from each other, so it was like an all-in-one thing yesterday. So I was pretty tied up, had family, had friends. It was an event of all events. It was a lot of fun. Yesterday I was really tied up with a lot of stuff, and and let me tell you, like, my schedule, it's been like all over the place. Well, not all over the place, but in my mind it's been all over the place because I still try to tango with the schedule of mine after 6.5 months, being in my new job. And I still work overnight. And I know a lot of people, they don't get what the overnight schedules, because they're like, how can you stay up all night and work, sleep during the day, or you get a little sleep or whatever. Like, I manage sometimes, and there's times where it's like I may get at least 5 or 6 hours of sleep, and then throughout the day I'm trying to do whatever I can. Like if I got free time, I'm gaming or something, or doing something out in the yard, or doing something around the house, whatever. But I've managed. I've done it for the last, maybe the last 15 some odd years, about 15 years, it feels like, just about. And I used to work all kind of different shifts. I used to work, there's a couple of jobs I was working morning shifts. There's a couple of jobs I had working the afternoon, evening shifts. I want to say those are the hardest. Especially for me. Like, you got to figure, I had schedules where I was working like 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Then I had where I was working 4 to midnight, those kind of things, or 2 to 10 p.m. And I gotta say, like, when you're working those afternoons, especially during the summertime where it's real hot outside and your job requires you to be outside at times, it's like, God, you're smeltering in the heat so fucking bad. You're smeltering, you're sweating your ass off, and it can be unbearable. But some people like doing it. They figure, hey, I'm a man, I could take it. Some people, okay, hey, fat people are not meant to work in the fucking summertime weather. I will say that. But other than that, like, working an afternoon shift, an evening shift like that, and then you get home at night, you're ready for bed and all. It's like you want to unwind. You want to be able to do something or take care of something. Like, let's say you want to unwind and watch a movie, or if you're like me or some people I know, play a video game or something for an hour or two, and that's all you get. You just like get an hour or two, and then you got to go to bed, and you're sleeping. Christ, you're sleeping all the way up until like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, And then you get up, you only got maybe like an hour or two maybe to get yourself ready, get a shower, get dressed, get prepped, maybe do something, and then you're out the door to do it all over again. But some people are able to do that. Some people are able to do that. They just wait for the weekend. It's like, oh, I'm going to do everything I can on the weekend. I'm just going to do this and do that on the weekend. But then, weekend comes, adult life, weekend comes. Y'all can agree. When the weekend comes, you ain't got. You're trying to plan something. You are trying to plan something to do on the weekends, and it just doesn't fall through. It just doesn't fall through. That's adult life, sadly. Kids. I will say, kids have it easy. Kids do have it easy. As challenging it can be at times. Even we found it to be challenging when we were children. You're like, man, life's fucking hard. I wish I was an adult. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. Yeah. Then you become an adult. You start working full-time jobs, part-time jobs. You really start to understand the value of a dollar. You start to understand why our parents were never able to afford the luxuries of life for us back then. You know what I mean? Like back then, we wanted that brand new Nintendo Entertainment System, or that Nintendo 64, or that PlayStation, or whatever. What we wanted back then. We didn't understand what expensive meant. We didn't. We'd be like, oh, that console's only $179. Yeah, but you got to look at the facts that a lot of our parents, they were only making minimum wage. Back then in the 90s, depending where you were making maybe like $3 to $5 minimum wage. Some states were like, $7.25. You can't live off of that. You know how hard it is to save from $7.25 an hour? Try to save anything of that, because you got to deal with mortgages, you got to deal with bills, gas for your car, you got to deal with, health insurance, car insurance, this kind of, every fucking thing falls into your nature. It's like bills upon bills upon bills stack up. And it's like, even though a lot of people do manage to save, it's just really hard. It really is, especially in today's economy, especially, the last 4 years with what they call a president. I still don't call that piece of shit a president. I really don't. He's been in government politics since the 1960s and 70s. He's always been a piece of shit. I tell you, this day and age, kids today are just like us when we were growing up. We don't understand. They don't understand the value of a dollar. They don't understand that if daddy and mommy don't have the money to be able to buy you that Roblox gift card for your little game, or maybe you don't have money to buy, some kind of toy or thing of slime or goo or whatever the fuck kids are into today, Sometimes we can't afford that shit because our money's going into bills, our money's going into food, clothing for you. And then coming up here within the next month, school supplies. And these schools, sometimes these schools will ask for the most ridiculous things. The most ridiculous things for you to get on a list that kids don't even need. Like, you remember back in high school, I remember back in high school where they told us we needed like 5 3-inch 3-ring binders and shit for each class. And I'm like, I'm not hauling around a goddamn duffel bag. I'm not gonna walk into school like I'm fucking going camping, Like, each class requires, just bring in a 3-ring, a 3-inch fucking binder, the thick fucking binders. I'm like, these thick goddamn binders for what, a whole year or half a year class or whatever, whenever the semester goes up, whenever the half a years goes up in class. Like, let me ask you guys, and I know none of you guys are here, you're like the aftermath, but let me know in the comment section, like, did you have that in school where you had teachers who sat there and they were like, you gotta have a 3-inch or 5-inch binder, with all this paper in it, but then throughout the rest of this, the whole school year, they ask for this. They ask you to bring these supplies, but you don't even use them. You don't even use up a lot of the shit. That's what amazes me. You bring all this stuff, they ask your parents to buy all this shit, and you never use them at all. So what I did, I just told my mom, just give me 5 of those floppy 1-inch binders, the ones that they're not hardbound, they're like floppy, they're like plastic and shit. I liked using those a lot better. They fit more snugly into my backpack. And that's all I needed. That's all I fucking needed. Like, you don't need a fucking 5-inch binder that's for, like, big-ass goddamn government documents, you know? You don't need all that shit. You don't. I don't even know why, you know, teachers would like you to ball yourself down with that, you know? It fucking amazes me with that shit. And then, you know, at the end of the school year, you're looking at all this stuff and you're like, okay, maybe I can use this for next year, you know? Like, I think that's what it is. You buy all this stuff and you try to make it work for the following year, you know? You try to make that stuff work for the following year, and it works out. Just like, you know, a lot of these teachers are like, okay, we're going to be collecting those binders and stuff. I'm like, no. I'll give you a piece of paper. That's about it. How about composition books? Yeah, that's another thing that went kind of pointless back in the day. I mean, they still use them today, but composition books, you know, this little black and white camouflage books that we're supposed to use. Yeah, maybe like, I don't know, a quarter of the book, and the rest of it is just like on loose leaf paper and shit. So what I did, like my last remaining high school years, I bought one of those, I guess people would call like a trapper keeper. It's one of those thick binders. It's like a thick 3.5-inch binder. You know, it had a zipper on it. You unzip it and you can put all your paper and sort and organize. You know, I would used to get dividers, these paper dividers, and divide different sections. Like, okay, this is for math. This is for language arts. This is for social studies. This is for art. Whatever. I had one that was real bagging, man. I love this one. It was the only binder that I carried with me that I did all my subjects in. And on the front of the binder, after you closed it up, it had these 2 pockets. And you could put, you know, pencils and pens and stuff like that in these pockets. You know, it's very easy to carry around. So that's all I had. I put that in my backpack, and that's all I carried around. I had a backpack with just a big-ass binder. That's what I pulled out. Even though it took up all the fucking desk and shit, I'm like, you know what? Whatever. You know, if I need to take a piece of paper out, I'll take a piece of paper out, put the binder on the side by my feet, and that's that. I just don't understand schools, man. I really don't. You know, they want you to spend all this fucking money, you know, to bring this stuff into school. But then again, you know, like today's liberalism that's taken over, you know, liberal United States of America, you know, that's affecting our fucking schools now. You know, they want to teach you stupid shit like Common Core math. We never had that back in school when I was in school. We never had Common Core fucking math, you know? We had traditional, all-American, regular, normal human being style math. That's all we had. 2 + 2 is 4. I didn't need to branch out both of those fucking numbers to come up with the answer of 4. You know, it's 2 + 2. You say 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Or 3 + 1, or 1 + 3, or whatever, or 4 + 0. You know, that's all you fucking needed. They introduced that shit back in 2014, 2015. That was like the dumbest shit. 10 years of Common Core math. You know, they need to come out and say, hey, somebody needs to come out and say, hey, this shit, it's ridiculous. It's worthless, you know? Like, why do we need that? You know? I'll be right back.
Lauderdale is also just $79. Seats are limited, so call 1-800-4SUNJET to reserve yours. SunJet, we're shining brighter every day.
Recently, Jeep engineers made an amazing discovery.
We found it.
Yeah, the perfect way to improve our four-wheel drive system.
And one discovery led to another.
Wow. Our new suspension enhancements perform great out here.
The new Jeep Grand Cherokee, 4-Wheeler Magazine's 4-Wheeler of the Year.
Amazing.
The dual airbags?
Yeah.
Obviously, our engineers didn't miss a thing.
This is about how your business can build new profit centers without bulldozing your budget. About looking bigger than you are. This is about call centers, people, and technology that can capture new customers, answer questions, and process orders 24 hours a day. And it's not just for the rich, the powerful, or the daring. Because there's a way you can get the help, hardware, software, and advanced toll-free service to create your call center. All you have to know is how. Network MCI, that's how.
Hey, you're a guy, and guys want to stay cool. How do you do it? With new Speed Stick Gel, proven to keep you drier than any other gel. It's the best gel protection. New Speed Stick Gel, just for the guys.
Remember Gib? Who fled?
See how they run.
Stole $25 million from the Cuban mafia?
Killing. See how they fly.
I don't want half. Half!
On July 19th...
Move! These people are trying to kill you!
See how they... fled.
All right, half! That is it! We are even! No. Now we even.
Fled. Rated R. Starts Friday, July 19th.
Some people quit when they reach...
And we're back, guys. Sorry about that. I had a phone call going on there. You forget to actually mute my phone and all. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, stuff we had back in schools. Yeah, stuff. Oh Christ. But yeah, that's what it was. I was talking about this big ass binder that I had. You know, this big 3-inch fucking binder I had and shit. Those were the days, weren't they? Back in school, prices are going up. Things are going up for everything. You know. Nowadays, you can't even really fucking afford anything, really. You know, you go to the store, shit, a pack of paper. Back in the day, like if you bought a pack of paper for school, it was like, I don't know what, 97 cents at Walmart. Now if you go there, you pay like $1 or something, maybe close to $2 for a pack of paper, you know. Biden's inflation. Biden's America. You know what's funny about that is everybody who defends Biden for no apparent reason, they just defend these motherfuckers, you know, the ones that are responsible for the inflation, responsible for raising prices and all this, you know, they're the ones responsible. And yet everybody blames Trump still. Everybody blames Trump. Oh, we had a broken economy. We had broken this. We had a broken that. You know, when Trump left office, he handed all of that to Biden. No, he didn't. The economy was fucking booming. The economy was right where it was supposed to be. Everybody was having jobs. Everything was affordable. We had no fucking foreign wars. We had no immigration. We had none of that. The only thing that Biden inherited, and then he bastardized and he weaponized it against people, was the pandemic. That was the only thing that Biden inherited out of the Trump years. Because it came all of a sudden, and we all found out it was a Chinese virus. It was all originated in China. It's stated fact. It's out there. Look it up. We inherited this fucking virus. And then Trump was trying to do everything he could to help people. He even thought about stimulus checks for people, for families who were affected, you know, those who can't go to work. But the Democrats are like, oh, that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. You know, you're wasting money right there. You're throwing money away. Well, guess what? Biden turned around and you did the same fucking thing. The Democrats were like, let's send out stimulus checks to those who need it. Trump thought of that fucking shit. But no, it was bad when Trump was talking about doing it. Trump was bad for that. That's right. Yeah, if anything was if it was anything Trump, yeah, it was horrible. Trump was looking out for families. Trump was looking out for people. You're making sure people had some kind of income. Okay, we understand. But then again, you know, we had the whole social distancing thing. You know, people couldn't work. Jobs were going under and shit. Nobody was really going out. All these jobs fucking went under. And then what else happened under Biden? Oh, the whole thing with, if you don't get your vaccine, then you're a terrorist, you're a criminal, you know, you should be charged, you should be arrested, you should be jailed, this and that, blah, 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 blah. You cannot go to work, you can't have a job. under Biden, people lost or quit their jobs because they told them we're not getting a vaccine. The vaccine is not helping people. And that's the goddamned truth. Because let me tell you something about that virus, okay? That virus, corona, okay? Coronavirus has been around for decades. It's not something brand new that came out of China within the last, 5, 6, 7 years, you know? It's nothing brand fucking new. It's been around for so goddamn long. Since the fucking, 60s, 70s, maybe even longer before that, you know? I remember working with a woman around that time. And she had a thing of Clorox disinfectant wipes. She was wiping down counters and stuff, you know, disinfecting them and all, cleaning them up. And she's reading on the back of the tub. And she points out to me the word coronavirus on there. She's like, did they fucking know? And I'm thinking, that's been around for a long time. Coronavirus, it's an umbrella term. It's an umbrella term for a branch of the family of different viruses that originate from pretty much anywhere in any foreign countries and such, you know? But there are people who, you know, they learn something new every day. You can't fucking blame them. I even learn something new every day. But, you know, they act like this is something brand spanking new. What about over 100 years ago with the fucking plague and shit, you know? Or whatever the hell it was that happened back in 1919 or whatever it was. That killed hundreds of fucking people over in Europe. That lasted, 3 years? Something like that? 3 years? Look at the one we dealt with this time around. 2 or 3 years later, it's basically gone. It's relatively non-existent anymore. Now it's just being used. If you use that term right now, it's being used as a scare tactic. Biden used it as a scare tactic. Now, let me tell you all why. So, within the last 3 weeks, we had a number of things happen within this country. Okay? We had the presidential debate. You know, I think it was the first one. I can't remember. I think it was the first one. You know, Biden, Trump, presidential debate. I watched most of it. I really did. And it was just so laughingly bad for Biden. Trump was nailing everything. Bam, bam, bam. He was going at it. Like, I know back in 2015, 2016, when Trump was running against Hillary, and everybody was calling Trump a big bully because he was picking on Hillary, he was doing this, he was doing that, da-da-da-da. Well, the Clintons ain't no fucking picnic. Hillary ain't no fucking picnic. Yes, I would say whatever the fuck you want about Hillary Clinton. She's a stupid bitch. Get over that, people. She when it comes to politics, she's a fucking idiot. Yes, she's a fucking woman. Yes, of course, you know, I mean, you can't fucking blindside me with that. She's fucking stupid. And old Bill, all that motherfucker knew how to do was get his dick sucked in the Oval Office and learn to lie about it. And he got away with that fucking shit, you know? But yeah, Trump, after so many years, with what happened since he left office, right? After so many years. I'll be right back.
Central on Fox.
The Silver Bullet, the shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. Tap the Rockies! Good boy.
And welcome back to Tune In Live, guys. You're watching us live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. We're almost within the first half hour of the show. If you guys have yet to do so, hit that like and subscribe button down below if you are watching us on the YouTubes. If you're watching us on other platforms, hit that follow button down below. Before I get back into the topic today, I want to let y'all know, I understand I told everybody I was on Twitter. I was on Twitter. That is no more, unfortunately. That is, unfortunately, no more. And here's what happened. So, as everybody knows, over the last few years that I've done this broadcast, and I always announced it, hey, yep, a ban on Twitter for pissing off some liberal Democrats and shit. Well, this time around, I wasn't doing any of that. In fact, I hadn't even posted anything in a week on Twitter. I shit you all not. I haven't posted anything on Twitter within a fucking week. Haven't even shared anything. I checked my email yesterday, and it's like, oh, your account is suspended for banning evasion and shit like that, or evading ban and shit, or evading suspension. Like, what? Really? How the fuck y'all know I'm evading? Well, it's just fucking hilarious to me. You know, it's just hilarious to me that I had that page up for not even 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. I had that page up. And now all of a sudden, some idiot over at Twitter decides to check my account, right? And it's like, oh, this person, they are evading the ban. They're evading ban. How do you know I'm invading ban? How do you fucking know? Are you all checking my IP? Is that what it is? Are you IP ban? Well, like, why don't you just IP ban me at this point, you know? I think what it is, any point in the title, my name, you know, my profile name, maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe they see my logo or something. Like, oh, this person, oh, that would be good if there was anybody who was who had any fucking troll accounts of me on Twitter, but that's not going to benefit me. But I'm sitting there like, okay, you banned me from using your platform, okay? Like, why? You know, you got thousands of people that use this platform on a fucking daily basis. Are you trying to kill the platform? If you ban everybody, you know, for whatever reason and shit, everybody's gonna stop using your fucking platform. Like, I understand Elon Musk, you know, he invested a lot into the fucking platform. You know, he invested a lot into it and took it over and all, but it's still the same old goddamn Twitter. That's all it is. You know, Twitter is just the same old stupid goddamn shit. They will fucking ban you for whatever reason. When it comes to Democrats or liberals or trolls or whatever on that side, hey, they're allowed to insult you. They're allowed to push your buttons and bully you. They're allowed to slander you on there. But when it comes to anybody else, oh, no, you banned, you suspended, you piece of shit. That's what it is. You are a piece of shit on Twitter if you are not Democrat, liberal, left, LGBT, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, pro-Biden, pro-Obama, pro-Clinton, what the fuck ever. If you are none of those, fuck you. You know what I say to Elon? You know what I say to those over at Twitter? Fuck your platform. Nobody needs your platform, period. Had to step away for a second, guys. Sorry about that little bit of silence there. So let's see. Oh yeah. Yep, like I said, I was banned, suspended from Twitter. No reason. Just I'm evading ban. I'm evading ban. Okay. I'm evading ban. Fuck y'all, whatever. I don't give a shit. Like, I could come back. If I had another account somewhere, if I had another phone number, I would probably come back on Twitter. I probably would. But, nah. Was it cheap viewers on... I don't even know what the fuck that word is. Who's that? Duradan X. Wow, I don't even know who that motherfucker is. It was created. Ooh, it was created back in 2014. First time chat. I don't know who you are. You looks like you're a piece of shit anyway, I guess. I don't know. Cheap viewers on that. So, without further ado, let's get into something very juicy here real quick. Biden dropped out of the presidential race yesterday. Yes, Biden dropped out. And it's what can we say? What can we say about Biden finally dropping out of the race? Everybody was hoping and praying that this would happen. Everybody was hoping and praying. So Biden's not running anymore. This guy, for 4 fucking years, has done so much damage to this country. He's done so much damage to the economy. This man has caused inflation like a serious motherfucker. And yet people, they still support him. They support this fucking creature, this mutant, this sorry sack of democratic shit. Why? All because people did not like Trump. No one liked Trump. Why? Oh, he was all mean tweets. He was saying this and that on Twitter. He was doing this, he was doing that. A lot of it's coming from the liberal left. Hell, look at the colleges right now. I think I covered this last time I was on here. Look at all the colleges. Look at all these students that go to these colleges. They are uneducated. I don't even understand how the fuck they are even in college right now. I don't understand that. But they go for these scholarships, right? They're granted these free scholarships and shit. So I want to advance my education further. Let me get a scholarship that mommy and daddy and everybody else will have to pay for. Remember hearing about that? Remember Bernie Sanders was talking about that, how college should be free. Even Biden said that scholarship should be free and shit. You know, all of everybody's college funds and shit like that. Anybody who's paying for college, everything's gonna be free. Everything's gonna be forgiven and all. Yeah, for them, all that shit is gonna be placed back on the American people. So people like you and I, we would be the ones paying for these kids going to school. We would be the ones paying for these kids to go to school. These kids, I'm serious, who do not know what the Declaration of Independence is. They don't know who our founding fathers is. I'm pretty sure they don't know who Abraham Lincoln is. Because let me tell you something. Everything that these kids today focus on is the tragedy that happened back when settlers came across, the sea, came across the ocean and discovered this land. Well, quote unquote, discovered this land. They tack on the racism. Oh, well, Abraham Lincoln was a slave owner. George Washington was a slave owner. Okay. That was 200-300 fucking years ago. Are you a part of that? Well, my ancestors were. Who were your ancestors? I hate to tell about 75% of these fucking tards. I'd hate to tell them that, hey, your ancestors probably were not over here around that time. Your ancestors were probably still across the ocean. They weren't even a twitching yo great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaddy's fucking ball sack, But I love it how mostly, even some black people today will still blame this country on racism. They'll still look back and do that. That's only a minuscule of the black community. A vast majority of them, about 96% of them, is all white people. And a lot of them is these kids that are in college. Everybody focuses on racism today. That's their biggest thing. When you mention the Constitution, when you mention the Declaration of Independence, when you mention the Bill of Rights, when you mention freedom, when you mention America, what's the number one fucking thing that any of these idiots will say to you? Anything that they mention to you relates to racism, slavery. They'll call you a racist, but yet they're the ones that bring it up. They're the ones that mention it. Like, you could be sitting there talking about how your views on Trump are good. Trump's going to do this. He's going to do that. He's going to do so much good for this country. But the one big thing that people will mention when you talk about Trump, he's racist. That's racism. Racist. The biggest go-to card is the race card. And it's always white people doing it. It always is. And it's even funnier when somebody from the black community, somebody who is like the blackest of the black, sits there and says, you know what? I'm voting for my man Trump. He promises jobs. He promises this. You know what? Everything was good under Trump for the first 4 years that he served. And a lot of black people saw that. And those are the same ones that are going back and voting for him again. And it's funny when all these white people, all these fucking racist crackers will sit there and look at some of these black people and like, well, that's not right of you to say that. You're black. How can you support a racist? And you know what? They'll double down and be like, what's racist about him? What has he done? What has he done in his tenure as president or in all his life that was racist? And these dumb motherfuckers will just make up anything. They'll pull something out of their fucking ass. They'll make up anything. They'll even say shit that Biden has said in his tenure within politics. And they'll just put it on Trump. They'll pin it on Trump because they don't like it. These kids are so fucking brainwashed, not just by the media, not just by, you know, the political parties in DC. They're brainwashed from watching fucking shit on TV. They're brainwashed from what they see on fucking the internet, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever there's a video out there, some idiot's posting it, you know? These kids today, they do not understand this shit like we do. But when it comes to politics, I say anybody under the age of 21 should never get involved in politics. I'm serious. Even though you're registered, you can register to vote at the age of 18. And in some states, 21 is a legal age to drink, sometimes legal age to smoke. But I feel like when it comes to politics, when it comes to voting, I feel like, and I understand they want every single vote possible out there. But what I would love to see, okay, because a lot of these people, a lot of these kids under the age of 21, they don't do research at all. They don't do research at all. They don't even have the attention span to look up in a book. I'm talking a book now. I'm talking about going to the library, getting an actual book that has actual history in it. Anybody can pull up a browser on a phone, tablet, laptop, home computer, whatever. Anybody can pull up an article on a web browser and look it up. And we always said, a lot of people have always said, don't believe everything you see on the internet. Because a lot of that stuff gets edited. It gets revised. So you're receiving a lot of the wrong information from a lot of the wrong sources. I watch YouTube. There's a channel I watch where they do interviews with band members from certain heavy metal groups and stuff. And they're like WikiLeaks or something like that. And they compare actual events and stories to what is posted on their Wikipedia, you know, their Wikipedia articles. And, you know, Wikipedia is only sharing out maybe not even half truths on a lot of shit. Or I guess I could say half truths, you know, just about 50% true. There is some fact in there, and a lot of the stuff is also just made up. So, like I said, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. But I would like a lot of these kids to go out there. Go to a library that has a lot of these books still in their archives. I'm not talking about on the, the fucking shelves, well, they do have some books on the shelves. And I'm talking about like going to like the archives. Like a local library, public library, whatever, like a state library, something like that. Go in there, pull a book off, and start reading up on history. These people will learn a lot of fucking shit. Even though I'm pretty sure a lot of them be like, oh, that's bullshit. Oh, that don't make any sense. This don't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to you because you're receiving lies from the media. They tweak that kind of information. They tweak and twist it to fit their narrative. And then you go in there, you watch it, and you're like, yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, that's bullshit. There is so much with this country that these kids today, they don't understand. They really don't. That's why I say, until these kids, even when they get into college, until these kids pick up an actual book and read, rather than getting on their laptops or their phones or computers, if they get an actual book and read it, they should not be allowed anywhere near a voting poll. They should not be allowed to vote. You need to understand what both political parties are offering. You need to understand how crooked both political parties can be. So I'm talking about, yes, also Republicans too. Now, I will say, I'm a registered to vote as a Republican. I want nothing to do with Democrats. I consider myself conservative because, yeah, I can look on both sides of, the political parties. Because let me tell you something. Not all Democrats are completely terrible. And not all Republicans are good. They're not good and not great. Both sides have their pros. Both sides have their cons. You got to look, in both situations. And yes, both sides will sit there and say, yeah, I don't support this person. I don't like this person. I don't like that person, I feel like when somebody like Robert Kennedy comes out and says, I don't like Trump, I consider that an opinion of his. And I feel like when it comes to something as important as who's going to run the country for us, I say your opinions should not matter. It shouldn't even have a place in what's going on right now. You don't like Trump, that's your opinion, keep it to yourself. You're running against somebody for something that's the most important thing for this country, for this world. Right now, Biden is, even though he's still in control, sadly, for the next 4 months, he has to finish out his tenure. So what does it mean when he drops out? Well, he's not stepping down. He's not resigning. He's just stepping out. He's dropping out from the election. Biden is not going to run for another term. That's a lot of good news right there. This old man who cannot fucking mutter his words properly, probably can't even wipe his ass, probably can't fucking eat his ice cream without somebody helping him. Thankfully, this sack of shit of so many years, he finally dropped out of the race. And that's a lot of good news. He spent the last 4 years fucking up this country greatly. He fucked up this entire fucking world. Because one of the big things that I can and I will go back on and tell everybody here, under Trump, we had no foreign wars. We had no attacks on American soil. Trump killed off ISIS. There was no terroristic threats any fucking where. Everybody was at bay. Biden comes into office, guess what? Russia's going after Ukraine. Hamas is going after Palestine's going after fucking Israel. China's thinking about bombing us now with nuclear weapons. Taliban has all of our weaponry that was left over there on a U.S. base. Remember that. When Biden got in office, 13 died. Biden lied. 13 of our great American soldiers lost their lives when Biden prematurely pulled us out of Afghanistan or wherever it was we were based at. Trump was set to do it. He was waiting for a good time to do it, to where it was safe, to where they could be on their own over there in that little country, so he could pull us out properly. Biden didn't pull us out properly. 13 lives were lost. And he's accountable for all those lives. And not only that, billions of dollars of military equipment was left over there. Guns, tanks, jeeps, whatever they needed. We left billions of dollars of military equipment over there. And who has access to it all? The Taliban. That was the sloppiest fucking thing in this country's history. Not the most tragic thing. The most tragic thing was 9/11. But oh my God. January 6th. Oh my fucking God. Everybody goes back and praises the January 6th cult. Trump was responsible for January 6th, even though he said nothing. Trump said nothing about storming the fucking Capitol building. Yet they want to blame Trump for it. Wasn't his fault. It wasn't Trump supporters' fault. There's plenty of video footage still out there that support this, that back this. There's a video I saw 2 days ago. Somebody wearing a Trump hat. He approached the fucking, who was it? There were some police officers in riot gear. They were standing on the side. He went up to him on camera and said, "Hey, people are trying to break in there. They're climbing up through windows and shit. You got to call backup. What are y'all just standing there for? Call backup. Somebody's going to get hurt." And these motherfuckers just stood there. They just stood there and let this shit happen. The Biden administration, the Democrats, they all set that shit up to make Trump look like a criminal. But you know what? They cannot pin it on him. There's no evidence that Trump did or said anything that incited January 6th. But then this thing happens just 2 weeks ago, guys. Some 20-year-old pecker stain named Thomas Crooks takes a shot at Trump. Missed him by that much. Trump survived, but sadly, one person lost their life. He was a firefighter, protecting his family. Some other people were injured by gunfire. And the Democrats think it's a fucking joke. They all thought it was staged. Oh, they staged the whole thing. They set it up. The Trumpites set it up. It was all fake. Yeah. And I'm sure the poor firefighter who lost his life to protect his family, I'm pretty sure that was fake too, right? Did he fake his death? Did he trip and fall on a nail and kill himself? That is how sick these pieces of shit are. Even those stupid cunts on The View, such as Whoopi Goldberg. Fuck that cunt. Fuck her. You know what? Because of people like her, and I know Tom has said it on URC a couple times, you know, he's like, your views on their political views should not have any effect on whether or not you enjoy their movies or not. At this point, I don't give a shit. Robert De Niro said some of the fucking wackest shit he has said. I used to like some movies of Robert De Niro. You know what? I boycott Robert De Niro. I will never watch another movie with De Niro in it again. Whoopi Goldberg, I've seen 2 or 3 movies that I did enjoy with her in it. You know, one of them was Ghost, Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore. Oh my God. So now I'm not going to watch Ghost because of one stupid cunt who couldn't keep her fucking mouth shut, who says some really retarded shit. I'm sorry, that's how I am. That's how I am. I'm not going to support you in any fucking way necessary. You're a piece of shit. You're always a piece of shit. I'm not going to watch your products. I'm not going to buy your products. I'm not going to support you in any goddamn way. And I know it was all toward Trump. You know, I understand that, you know. Like, the fact that people like Whoopi Goldberg will sit there and say that the whole thing was staged. Nothing happened. The fact that she was so disrespectful on the fact that a firefighter lost his life. An innocent bystander protecting his family lost his life. And she may have said it. I don't know if she has said it on the show. She probably would have said something ignorant like, well, maybe he shouldn't have been there. Maybe his family shouldn't have been there. A lot of people are saying that. It's fucking disgusting, you know? It truly is. Look at all these fucking retards who are still in high school, some in college. They're going on TikTok. They're going on YouTube, Instagram, anywhere where you could post short videos and shit. They're all crying. Screaming and crying over the fact that the shooter missed Trump. Crying over the fact that the shooter missed Trump. You know what I say? Why don't you all take a trip to one of your deep inner cities where violence is high and say some of the most racial shit that you ever say and I hope and pray a stray bullet hits you in the face. Then maybe you and your family will understand the pain that occurred on that day that Trump was nearly assassinated. Not just for the fact that Trump was shot at, but the fact that other people were involved. People were affected by it. So because of everything that has happened, you know, the very embarrassing presidential debate of Biden and Trump. Trump made a lot of good fucking points, called Sleepy Joe out on his shit, and all Joe could do was stand there and insult Trump, insult him on his golf, you know, his fucking golfing and shit. You know, there was like one part of it where he was talking about golfing and all. And then just the stupid looks that Biden gave. He just stood there like glaring into space like he always does. And this is a man that they wanted to run in 2024. So with all of that, and then his follow-up debate, right? His follow-up, where he stood in front of his crowd, you know? Remember, he mentioned Vice President Trump. Remember that. This is a guy who should not be allowed to voice any words at all. Not just opinions. This is a person that shouldn't be allowed to voice anything. Not even a fucking opinion. Like, why is Biden not in a fucking senior home, sitting in a wheelchair, shitting himself, getting cleaned up by nurse? Well, then again, he'll die in a nursing home because nobody will give a shit about him. They'll just leave him sit there to rot, and that's what I would do. I would leave Biden sit there to fucking rot in his own shit. Because that's how 90% of America feels about this motherfucker right now. And then this motherfucker, he goes on live television. On live television, people. And tells people, enough is enough. I think it's time somebody put Trump on a bullseye. How many ignorant fucks came out within the last 8 years. And they've all said the sickest shit about Trump. Hollywood celebrities, politicians, all kind of people. I've lost respect for Madonna. I've lost respect for Johnny Depp. I've lost respect for Robert De Niro. A lot of celebrities. A lot of people I've lost respect for. They're all pieces of fucking shit to me now. They all are. I'd hate to say that, but it's the God honest truth. So with him saying that, and then one fucking idiot at a high school, right? Everybody claimed that he was fucking computer smart, but this guy was a loner. There's so much information that came out on this kid. There was so much information that came out on this kid. I'll cover it toward the end of the show. So the assassination attempt happened, right? And then everybody was waiting to hear from Kamala, from Biden, on what they say, you know, how they feel about it. It was like a day later or something like that. They did like some kind of briefing or whatever, you know? But then Joe was called out on his shit. And then he tried to retract what he said. It said, oh, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. We all know what you fucking meant. Years ago, when you sat there and told people like to take that motherfucker out back behind the schoolyard and beat the shit out of him. Yeah, We all know exactly what Joe Biden meant by that. So from everything, all of that has happened to his health, this past weekend, Democrats and Republicans all worked together for a weekend to try to get this motherfucker to resign his position. This is an example of somebody who needs to be impeached very badly. But the best that they can get out of it, Biden drops out from the presidential debate. And now they're endorsing, this is going to be hilarious. They are now endorsing Kamala Harris. This is going to be interesting as a Democratic presidential nominee. This is coming from the LA Times. And this was posted yesterday, July 21st. President Biden withdrew from his presidential race Sunday and threw his support behind Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic Party's new standard bearer, a decision Democrats hailed as the act of the patriot who put his country over his self-interest. Yeah, okay. He never put this country first. He never did. If he did, all of that money that should have went to this country went over to Ukraine. Yeah, he put this country first, all right. Biden's announcement ends weeks of hand-wringing among party leaders who urged him to leave the race after a disastrous debate performance last month left many Democrats fearing that he was too old for office and unable to defeat former President Donald Trump. Too old for... Well, duh! Can you say duh? Fearing he's too old for office? This is a guy who fell going up a flight of stairs. This is a guy who tripped over his own 2 feet near a fucking podium. This is a guy who was on camera riding a bicycle and fell off. You're worried that he's too old for office? This is a guy who fumbles over his words. Who doesn't know what the fuck he's saying most of the time. Vice President Trump? Oh my God, like everybody fucking seen it. It's all over the internet. Jesus. I'll be right back, guys.
Has to, because the way we see it, you don't just cover a lot of miles. You cover a lot of weather. The Michelin X1.
This is for my grandfather, who always said I'd make the family proud. For my mom, who never let me out the door without my homework. For my dad, We work the night shift to make our lives better.
Flight 3 Alpha. Spotted.
For myself. For my future.
The Eagle Vision is the first sedan in the world with the auto stick system. Porsche offers their version in a coupe. This German engineer will compare. Du kennst mich doch. Ich liebe Schwarz. So, what do you think, Goods?
Also, was denkst du denn, Good?
Das ist sehr gut. Ich meine, einfach zum automatisch, Autostick.
He likes the choice of automatic or auto stick. Excellent handling without a clutch.
What's he think of Vision's price?
Ach du meine Güte. They're screwed.
No, we get the message. Thank you.
Now get $1,500 cash back on Eagle Vision TSI.
The new reloadable smart card. The future is happening now down under and on its way here. From MasterCard, it's smart money.
Homer gets a new job as Mr. Burns' assistant.
I think the bangs today.
On The Simpsons. Sunday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
The Silver Bullet, the ship cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies.
Tap the Rockies! Good boy.
And we're back, guys. We're within the second hour of the podcast, tuning in live. You guys are now joining us right here on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So, pull this page back up here. Biden and Harris. Before I went to break, we were talking about Biden being too old for office, right? Yeah. I wouldn't say age is a factor. I really wouldn't. We've had some people old age way back when, serving in their 60s, 70s possibly. I don't even know. I'll have to research them all that. Trump is in his 70s. He ran the country fine. He ran it like a businessman. And you know what? That is how you need to run a country. Not just as a leader, but you need to run it as a business. You gotta see things from a business standpoint when it comes to running the country. And that's why Trump was so good with what he did. Not only running it as a business, but he was a people person. He knew how to talk to people. He knew how to handle people. He knew when to step in and say, you know what? Try something and see what happens. Or in today's kids' minds is fuck around and find out, but you know, I don't even care too much to use that term because it's such a fucking childish thing. You know, look who fucking uses it today. These fucking kids don't know anything about politics. They don't know anything about anything, really. That's why I said that. They don't know anything about anything. It's like a goddamn Italian mafia saying, I don't know anything about anything. You can't pay me off. Almost sounds like Ronnie Dangerfield going Italian. So, it's like a few key leaders. Both they were exactly like some of you are good. Yep, one key was the Australian fellow. Yeah, we still got. There's a lot of good leaders in other countries. A lot of these foreign countries, they do have some good leaders. Now, regardless of, you know, yeah, you hear from the people who live there, and they're like, "Oh, this guy sucked. You know, he killed this person. He had this person killed. You know, we don't live with freedom and all that." But depending on the leaders, you know, you got leaders out there that'll kill people for this reason. They got leaders out there that are just too sucky. You know, Biden was one of them. And you know what? Biden was killing fucking people by the dozens. Nobody wants to see it as that. Nobody wants to admit that, but it's true. When Biden first got in office, how many people died when he pulled out of Afghanistan? 13 fucking people. Nobody talks about him anymore. You bring him up, oh, well, that never happened. That never happened. Uh-huh. How about that whole shit when Hillary was secretary? What was it? Benghazi. Almost forgot about that. Benghazi. I forgot how many people lost their lives there. They were all going to Clinton. They said they needed backup. They needed help. Hillary Clinton ignored the call. All those people died. So many people died under the Democrat Party. Like right now, all these fucking illegals that are popping into the country that the Democrats are bringing in, how many of those are terrorists, serial killers, rapists, pedophiles, drug cartels? That's their one way of coming into the country. You know what? We've had so many lives that were taken due to these people that the Biden administration is bringing in. And yet they will not hold accountability for any of it. All that blood is on Biden's hands. All these innocent young girls, teenagers, whatever, all these children that are being killed off by these illegal immigrants that should not be here, all that blood should be on the hands of the Democrats, period. Yeah, when ISIS was in the mainstream, Daily Trudeau offered them sanctuary. Here, we could have... Yeah, I remember that, too. But yeah, Trump made sure that ISIS was disbanded. ISIS was no more. You didn't hear about ISIS anymore after Trump got in. Took him a little bit, but yeah, they were disbanded. Biden gets in, guess what? Taliban's back. Taliban's got all of our weapons, all of our military equipment, all that fucking shit, you know? Y'all can thank Biden, children. Because when Kamala gets in, if Kamala gets in, World War III begins. Because right now, everybody's shuddering in their boots. Because, oh, when Trump gets in, we ain't going to have no wars. We ain't going to get no more money. We ain't going to get this. We ain't going to get that no more. Papa Biden's out. What are we going to fucking do? Oh, maybe Kamala Harris will get it. Yeah, Kamala Harris, when she gets in, guess what? World War III will fucking start. And we're going to be right in the middle of the goddamn shit. Even China. China has access to nuclear weapons. Yeah, they plan on using that shit against us, people. They plan on using that against us. And I can guarantee you, probably Papa Biden probably, yeah, he probably gave him some funds for that. Slip to, I don't even know who the hell the president or leader of China is. I don't even know who that is. Is it Z or something? I don't fucking know. Maybe he slipped him a couple bucks and said, here you go. Wait till I'm out of office, you know? So much shit is going on. Yeah, allegedly, yeah. So here we go. This is a quote. I guess it's from Biden or somebody. I believe it is my best interest of my party and the country for me. Yeah, this is from Biden. Xi, that's it. Xi Jinping, yeah. That's who it is, Dustin. But yeah, Biden came out yesterday and said, I believe it is the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. Biden said in a statement he will address the nation later this week. A Harris-Trump contest would present a stark contrast between Harris, who is 59, black, Asian, and the first woman to serve as vice president, against the 78-year-old Trump, of course they would sit there and say, he's a convicted felon whose presidency and campaign have been laced with racist and misogynistic underpinnings. This is the LA Times, of course, liberal LA, to come out and sit there and say, oh, Kamala Harris, 59 years old, she's black and Asian, and she's the first woman to serve as vice president is running. And she's running against Donald Trump, 78 years old, convicted felon, whose presidency and campaign have been laced with racist and misogynistic underpinnings. And you know what? None of these motherfuckers can state exactly what is racist about Trump. None of them. Unless they go back and says, oh, well, he's going to close the border off to Mexico. He wants to keep all Hispanic people out. That's your opinion. You formed an opinion based off of some dumb shit the Democrats are spewing to you. The reason for the wall is to keep unwanted criminals from coming in here. There is nothing wrong with anybody who's Hispanic or anybody who lives down south, south of the border, coming into this country. You want a visa to come in? That's fine. You're going to go through the proper process to do it. There is a process to become an American citizen. He's not keeping all Hispanics out. He's keeping the crime out. That's what people don't fucking understand. She's also been known to be cozy with Diddy. He probably has, I imagine. So it doesn't really amaze me that the LA Times did label Trump out as that. He's a convicted felon. Convicted of what? He's convicted of nothing. Y'all put false fucking information, false pretense on that motherfucker. Shit that has not been proven true. Why do you think Trump has beat every single goddamn case so far? He's beaten them. There's no evidence. There's no proof of him doing this, of him doing that. That's what pisses them off. And the next thing on their list was attempted assassination. Guess what? That failed. That failed. So there had to have been some other way of getting rid of Trump. They couldn't do it with the courts. They couldn't do it with a 20-year-old query-looking motherfucker who was bullied in high school. Just imagine that, okay? Somebody random who was bullied in school. He was a loner. He was smart with computers and shit. Why did they pick somebody like that to do something like that? It's just something odd about it. But then all this information did come out about him. I'm going to try to get into that a little bit later in the show. But yeah, so now the biggest thing that they can do is say, Biden, drop out of the race, let Kamala run. Because after all, in their eyes, people want a woman to be the first female president of the United States. And not only as a woman, but as a black woman. Yeah, that would be one for the books, people. 2024, the country's first black woman to be president. And it's going to be worse than Obama. It's going to be worse than Biden if she gets that. Just like right now, they claim that the poll numbers, right? They claim that Trump supposedly lost some points. He dropped down not even 10 points in the race. Because Kamala is gaining, she's gaining wind. People are, okay, now we got Biden now. Okay, now we can go over here and vote for Harris. Okay, now we can get Harris. Well, the rest of us Americans who know how corrupt the whole Biden administration is, how corrupt and fucked up Kamala Harris is, we're still not going to fucking change our minds. Everything that has happened to Trump, people are sticking with Trump. They're not going to go with Kamala Harris. I don't give a fuck if she went around each household and gave every single fucking man in this country who's voting for Trump. I don't give a shit if she came around and gave the best fucking blowjobs of a lifetime to every single man in this country that changed their mind about Trump. It still ain't going to fucking happen. Yeah, I'll nut all over her fucking face, but I'll be like, nah, I'm still voting for Trump. Thanks for the blowjob, though, bitch. Now you're a goddamn whore. That's exactly what it's going to be. Kamala Harris's whore 2024. That should be the campaign slogan. Vote whore 24. There we go. If I still had a fucking Twitter, I would put that up there. Vote whore 24. Whore 24. Who the fuck is this? Darth? Yeah. I'm pretty sure I know who that is. Let's see. Bloop. Goodbye. I love fucking retards. Yeah, I love all retards. He's like, oh, this is based. Yeah, go suck Kamala Harris's pecker. That's all I gotta say. So let's see. Following Biden's statement, my very first decision as party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president. And it's been the best decision that I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be a nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this. In her own statement, Harris thanked Biden for his extraordinary leadership. Extraordinary leadership? Yeah, okay. Kill dozens of fucking people, lie about it. Cause inflation. Do this, do that. Open our fucking borders. Allow all these criminals, terrorists, rapists into the country. Yeah, extraordinary leadership. Send all of our money over to the Ukraine. All these countries, all these foreign countries are starting war with each other and shit. And then they're getting us involved. But it's like, oh, we'll pay you out. Keep us out of war, but we'll give you money. We'll keep funding money to y'all. Yeah, just keep us out of it. Yeah. Our fucking money people just bought, Zelensky's wife a new goddamn car? Or some shit? A new fucking, $200 million Benz or some shit? Who the fuck knows over there in the Ukraine? Yeah, our fucking money is paying for somebody else's luxuries over there, to say. But she went on to saying, I am honored to have President's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination. I will do everything in my power to unite the Democratic Party and unite our nation to defeat Donald Trump and his Extreme Project 2025 agenda. Yeah, everybody keeps talking about the 2025 agenda. I didn't even look into that. What is the Project 2025 agenda? I didn't look into any of that. And people are like, oh, this is what it's going to be. This is what it's going to be. Well, let me see. What is it? This USA. I don't want to go to any goddamn liberal fucking biased page to read up on it. Okay, Project 2025. Here we go. .org. I want to go to the source. All right, so those are pillars. I just want to read up on like the little briefings about it. That's all I want to. Let's see. I think Trump would laugh at you your ratings. Who the fuck? There's a bunch of fucking retards coming in here today. Will laugh at you and your ratings. Yeah, I'm sure he would. But there, laugh it up while you're fucking banned. Oh, what a bunch of losers on YouTube today, ain't it? Yep. Let's see. That's the team. Paul, Dan, Spencer, Creighton, and Troop Hemingway. Who the hell named their kid Troop? The actions of liberal politicians in Washington have created a desperate need and unique opportunity for conservatives to start undoing the damage the left has wrought and build a better country for all Americans in 2025. It is not enough for conservatives to win elections. If we are going to rescue the country from the grip of the radical left, we need both a governing agenda and the right people in place ready to carry the agenda out on day one in the next conservative administration. Well, this only talks about the introduction of it. I want to know what it is. And I don't want to go to like New York Times to read it or anything, because you know they're all going to fucking sit there and say some dumbass bullshit. They're going to be like, oh, well, this is this and this is that. Just like, what was it, the LA Times, that article I read? Yeah, the LA Times where they were talking about, now that Harris is running against Biden, and it was stating the obvious. What was it? Oh, Harris, who was 59, a black Asian first woman to serve as vice president, against the 78-year-old Trump, who's a convicted felon whose presidency and campaign have been laced with racist and misogynistic underpinnings. Yeah, that's the LA Times. Let me get that fucker out of here. I'm not done reading that. All right, let's go to USA Today. I just want to see like key points of what this thing is. Yeah, the mandate attacks several policies that former President Barack Obama and President Joe Biden instituted, including student loan forgiveness and Obamacare. It simultaneously calls for expanded executive power for the commander-in-chief while criticizing what Project 2025 members perceive as overreaches by the Biden administration. Presidents should not issue mask or vaccine mandates, arbitrarily transfer student loan debt, or issue monarchical mandates of any sort, the plan reads. Legislatures make the laws in republic, not executives. And that's, I get with that. I really do. Like, where's the state? Like, why should, okay, let's say another pandemic happens and it's under Kamala Harris's care. You know what's going to happen? They're going to force more vaccines on you if something happens. They're going to force the mask mandate right back on you once again. And if you don't comply with any of it, you're a fucking criminal. And I could see them having you arrested and imprisoned, you know, for 10 to 15 years or some shit. All because you wouldn't get a jab or you wouldn't wear a mask under their mandate. But I see where this is coming from. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, presidents should not issue any of this at all. There should have never been a vaccine mandate, period. There shouldn't have been a mandate, period, of any of that nature. Like, how many people lost so many good fucking jobs back then? How many people ended up quitting their jobs that they love? Or like a lot of these nurses. A lot of these nurses in these hospitals who stood up for their rights and told them, I'm not doing this. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not getting the jab. They were told, well, you can just quit then. Goodbye. You can quit. That's what they were told to do. And they left. But you know what? I would have done the same thing. Yes, I would have had to go and look for another job, you know, despite maybe that job that I worked for, I was making good buck. But I'm like, I'm not going to, you know, inject myself with a poison because the Democratic Party says I need to, or else I'm just a piece of fucking shit. I'm a terrorist, you know? And those vaccines, they didn't do anything. They really didn't do anything. Because the virus, okay, as I stated before, the virus, it's a mutating virus. It mutates all the fucking time. You remember when everybody was coming out and saying, oh, you need this booster, you need that booster, because the last booster, it wasn't effective against this one, it wasn't effective against that one. You need this booster. You need 10 fucking boosters because the fucking virus mutates. That's what they do. All viruses mutate until they die off eventually, and that's what C-19 did. It died off. And now it's being used as a scare tactic. And you know what? Nobody's buying it anymore. Nobody's falling for the shit. Biden claimed last week, oh, I got C-19. I'm going to have to quarantine in Delaware. He ain't quarantining anywhere. That motherfucker come out and stated, you know, live that he was stepping down and shit. This motherfucker's supposed to be in bed. He ain't sick. He don't have the virus at all. It was a fucking scare tactic, but I know what was going to happen, okay? Everybody's going to be like, oh my God, the president has it. We're going to have to go back and get the vaccines. We're going to have to go back to wearing masks. Here it comes. Yeah, here it comes. Y'all falsifying information, trying to bring back a fake pandemic. So where, okay, nobody's going to the polls this year. It's time to bring out the mail-in ballots. Yeah, it's time to mail-in ballot. You know, so the mail-in ballots, oh, we could take those papers and put them in the landfill for Trump and make sure that Kamala Harris gets it. I know exactly what's happening. Even like when I look on several local stations on Facebook from Maryland, and they talk about, oh, the first case of C-19 was seen in Carroll County in the last couple of years. No, the fuck it wasn't. And I commented on that shit. I said, shut the fuck up. Nobody's buying this shit anymore, man. Anytime somebody says C-19, I fucking laugh. I fucking laugh. If anybody actually does get it, it's just as weak as the flu is. It's only comparable to the flu right now. Like right now, sadly, I did get the jab back in 2022, 2021, 22, whatever it was. Do you know what? That shit's well out of my system. It is. That's well out of my system right now. Am I going to get any boosters? Fuck no. Now you go to your local patient first or hospital or medical center. Have you gotten any of your boosters or your shots? You know what I tell them? No. And I'm not getting them either. Fuck you. I don't even get the flu shot, man. If I get the flu, I'll go get it diagnosed at the hospital. I know what to do. Take some over-the-counter medication, keep my ass in bed, make sure I'm well hydrated. That's all you need to do. I don't need no goddamn flu shot. I don't need no goddamn shot to show this and that. You know, it's like, oh, it's going to protect you from getting it. The low ratings are killing us here. We should probably invite Trump. What does that say? You smell like you're something. Smell like Barry. Oh, must be a fucking Biden night. Oh, I love it. There you go. Go fall down a flight of stairs with Biden. That's where you belong. Ah, shit, I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh, let's see. Yeah, we're talking about 2025, right? The Project 2025. Okay. The playbook calls for the reinstatement of Trump executive order are augmenting a president's power to hire and fire federal officials by replacing civil servants with political appointees throughout the government. It also seeks to repeal aspects of the Affordable Care Act, urge the Food and Drug Administration to reverse the approval of abortion pills, and further empower immigration and custom enforcement to deport undocumented immigrants. Now, when it comes to abortion, and I know it's a very touchy subject with a lot of people. And a lot of people like this, you know, they're all like feminists. We're feminists. I think feminists is another way of saying you're a fucking asshole. You're a stupid fucking asshole. That's all I fucking say. You know what's funny about feminists? Some women that are feminists. I watched Charlie Kirk on this, okay? Charlie Kirk, he was approached by somebody in college who states that they were a feminist. And Charlie asked him, okay, what is a woman? And he stated, and it's true, anybody who's a feminist and a woman, they do not know the definition of a woman. They cannot explain to you what a woman is. Either they're that fucking uneducated or they're just fucking stupid and they don't want to fall, you know. Because even a woman's like, oh, I know if I say something, it's going to be a ha-ha, got you kind of compliment. It's going to be a comment of ha-ha, got you. Yeah, of course. How can you say how can you be a woman and you're a feminist? How can you sit there and not say, and not tell us what a fucking woman is? XX chromosomes or whatever it is, you know, how it has to do with chromosomes. He even looked at the guy, he even looked at the woman and said, hey, I have XY chromosomes. That makes me a man. Can I give birth to a child? And she said, no. He said, why? Because you're a man. He's like, exactly. Nowadays, you got all these idiots out there under the whole liberal regime that's like, men can give birth, men can have babies. All they gotta do is have the surgery to implant the eggs and this and blah, 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 blah. And I'm pretty sure these are probably people who have never seen the movie Junior with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. That was the one where he ended up pregnant and shit, and he gave birth to a child. I think if anybody really seen that movie, they probably understand it. It's like, yeah, that is very unrealistic in today's age. Like, how can somebody sit there today and honestly say that men can give birth? And they don't know the anatomy of a man. They don't know the anatomy of a woman. But they make up all these genders. Oh, gender and sex is two different things. No, it's just worded different. It's just worded different. What's your gender? Male or female? Oh, well, there's different types of gender. Who the fuck comes up with this? You know who comes up with this, people? seriously mentally retarded people, people who are completely fucked in the head. These are people with severe mental disabilities. That's what I'm trying to say. They are severely mentally disabled. These are the people that want to sit there and say, oh, I could fuck a cat in the ass and it'll get pregnant and have a baby that looks like me. And I don't think anybody's ever said something like that. I'm pretty sure they have, maybe. But that's the way these people think. These motherfuckers are liberals. Most of them are under that agenda of LGBT. Now, granted, Charlie Kirk said he does support the LGBT, but he does not agree with a lot of the decisions and agendas that they put forth, and I agree with that too. The reason I say LGBTQ and all is I say this for the same reasons. Their agenda is fucked up. Everything they put forth on people is fucked up. Just like they try to sit there and say, well, you should never assume your kid's gender when they come out of the womb. You don't know if they're male or female. That is the most retarded thing that anybody could ever say in life. Especially somebody under an agenda like the LGBT, you know? That's the most dumbest fucking shit you could ever hear, you know? But this Project 2025 also addresses LGBTQ issues and attacks the radical gender ideology. In addition to calling for an end to the Department of Education, it suggests legislation that would forbid educators from using transgender students' names or pronouns without written permission from their guardians. It also appears to oppose same-sex marriages and gay couples adopting children by seeking to maintain a biblically based, social science reinforced definition of marriage and family. I do agree with that. Now, when it comes to gay people, if you want to get married, by all means, I don't give a fuck. I have nothing against gay people. Gay women, gay men, you want to get married, men, you want to fuck each other in the ass, women, you want to scissor each other, that's your business. Go the fuck on ahead. I don't care. When it comes to the transgender bullshit, that's when it gets very, very mental right fucking there. It gets very fucking mental. You know, you could be a fucking man and you want to identify as a woman. Okay, until you get your dick cut off, until you have the sex change, you're a man. You still have those XY chromosomes. You can't take those away. Look at Bruce Jenner. Had his sex change. Now he's Caitlyn Jenner. Can he have kids? No. Why? He was not born a woman. He was born a man. Went through a sex change. He was medically dissected to look like a woman. He still has those XY chromosomes. His body cannot produce eggs. Bruce Jenner, and I still call him Bruce Jenner. I know he's identified as Caitlyn Jenner. That's his own deal. But I hate to tell you all this. It's the God honest truth. Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, same person, yeah, is identified as a woman, but will never have children. Because in his mind, with how he looks, he's considered a woman, but deep inside his body, you cannot change the fact that Caitlyn Jenner was born a man, does not have the reproductive organs that women are born with. See where I'm going at with that? Kids today, they don't understand this shit because they're being taught the wrong shit. And it all comes from the LGBT community with their agenda. Project 2025, I feel that's going to be a good thing for that. It is. It's not going to make It's not going to make it illegal for you to be gay. Nobody's saying any of that shit. You're free. That's your freedom. That's who you are. You are gay. That is your freedom, people. Nobody cares. If somebody gay came up to me and said, hey, I'm a homosexual, you know what I'd say? That's cool, man. That's cool. I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm not going to tell the guy to stay the fuck away from me. I'm not going to tell the guy, congratulations, you want a cookie? I'm going to say, that's cool, man. I don't fucking care. But there's one other thing I like about Project 2025 is, okay, the whole pronoun shit. That shit's got to stop. Pronouns, that shit's got to stop. What mentally ill-driven motherfucker came up with the idea to use pronouns, or even change the proper definition of what pronouns originally means? People are going by pronouns, or he, she, he's this, he's that. Stop using that fucking shit. It makes you look like a complete retard. It does. You are completely retarded when using that shit. And then you're putting it on our fucking kids. That shit's gotta go. There's great concerns about this. Let's see, Crockett. Who's Crockett? Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, she looks like a crock of shit. Yeah, representative. Yeah, from Texas. She goes on stating, I don't know why or how anybody can support Project 2025. In the United States of America, dictatorships are never funny. And Project 2025 is given a playbook of authoritarianism, as well as the next dictator that comes in. Yeah, everybody compares Trump to a dictator. Look at what Biden did. Biden was out there telling people, I'm King Biden. I'm King Biden. You will refer to me as King Biden. That was, what, a month and a half ago? That shit was laughable. Yeah, we killed off fucking tyranny back then, you know? The great, what was it, the American Revolutionary War or whatever? We fought the Brits. Yeah, there was going to be no fucking kingdom over here. There was going to be no tyranny over here. That means tyranny right there. Kings, tyranny. Progressive Democrat U.S. Representative Anya Presley, Massachusetts, said its far-right manifesto in a post on TikTok. Biden campaign captioned a video detailing Project 2025, stating it needs more attention. Who was involved with Project 2025? That's a whole fucking list of things, man. Holy shit. And they all call this shit racist, apparently. I'm going to go over just a few of these for you guys. Okay, we got the 1792 exchange. Now, remind you, this is a long list. It's a long list, but if you guys want to keep up with us on this, okay, here's what you guys could do. Join our Discord. We have a link down below for our Discord channel, our Discord server. Join in Discord. I have the link posted for this article in our podcast leftover section titled Tuned In Live Scraps. If you guys want to follow up on that, if you guys want to read up on that, that's cool. So I'm only going to go over just some of these. Not all of them, but just some of these. That is who is involved with the project. The 1792 Exchange, the Alliance Defending Freedom, American Compass, American Commitment, the American Conservative, America First Legal, American Moment, AMAC Action, Sentinel Institute, Center of Equal Equality, Center of Family and Human Rights, Center of Immigration Studies, Center for Renewing America, Coalition for a Prosperous America, Discovery Institute, Family Policy Alliance for America, First Liberty Institute, the Frederick Douglass Foundation, the Heritage Foundation, Independent Women's Forum, the Institute of Women's Health, Keystone Policy, the Leadership Institute, Liberty University, Medical Research Center, Mississippi Center for Public Policy, Moms for Liberty, Oklahoma Council for of Public Affairs, Project 21 Black Leadership Network, Palmetto Promise, the Patriot Foundation Trust, Republicans Overseas Foundation, Students for Life of America, Susan B. Anthony's Pro-Life America, Tea Party Patriots, Turning Point USA, and such. I see nothing wrong with that. They look at this as being a bad fucking thing, but look at all who's involved with this shit. All these foundations and such. And they call this a terrible fucking thing. They think this is a dictatorship. He's a dictator. This is what he wants. This shit's fucking good for America, if you ask me. See, Democrats don't want to see that. Democrats don't want to see it. You know why? Because Democrats are power hungry. They're power hungry. Biden got a taste of it. Look what happened, people. 4 years. 4 years of his power. Everything went down the shitter. Same thing with Obama. Obama was in office for 8 fucking years. What did he do? Absolutely nothing. Everybody praised Obamacare, though. See how well that went. Obamacare? Oh my Christ. That was a shit show and a half right there. Obamacare. Thank God that shit's gone to waste. There's even doctors and nurses out there that will tell you the truth behind Obamacare. But people here, gullible people sitting at home, watching the news, reading online, the ones that were supporting Obama, they were believing this shit. Because he presented it with a smirk on his face. He presented it in a way where people were like, okay, that's believable. I believe that. Yeah, sure, I'll sign up for Obamacare. Yeah. Until something happens. But that's all about Project 2025. That's all about Project 2025. So that now we look at Kamala Harris's chances of beating Trump in key swing states. If officially chosen as a Democratic presidential nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris will face a steep challenge to defeat Donald Trump in the key background states. Joe Biden endorsed his vice president to replace him on top of the ticket after he withdrew his re-election bid on Sunday, following weeks of mounting pressure from within his own party. Harris is now the front runner, having secured endorsements from majority of elected Democrats. Even Nancy Pelosi came out and endorsed her. How fucking lovely. Several polls taken before Biden dropped out show Harris losing to Trump in almost every matchup in 8 key swing states. Biden was also largely trailing Trump in polls. These states. Largely trailing. Yeah, he wasn't trailing any goddamn thing. That motherfucker was losing. Now, Harris has officially lost her presidential bid. She will now face renewed scrutiny. And future polls will be closely watched. They better be. Because this shit's going to be rigged as hell. Arizona. In Arizona, Harris loses to Trump in every recent poll. The latest survey by Insider Advantage between July 15th and 16th of 800 likely voters finds Trump winning 48% to 42%. In Florida, only one poll this year has examined a Harris versus Trump matchup in Florida. According to the Insider Advantage poll conducted July 15th and 16th among 800 voters likely, Trump leads 49% to 49% to Harris's 39%. Georgia. In 11 polls taken in Georgia votes so far, Harris loses to Trump. Michigan. Recent polls in Michigan show Trump beating Harris or pulling even. Nevada. The most recent poll, Trump is ahead 50% to 40%. North Carolina, the most recent poll surveying Harris-Trump matchup. Yeah, Trump is leading Harris 50 to 40%. Pennsylvania, 45 to 43. And in Wisconsin, Harris is either even with Trump or just behind. So yeah, those are your 8 key states right there, where she's trailing it. But who knows? If she loses those key states when it comes to the electorals, guess what? It's all over for her. And our hero Trump comes back in, proud and free. And we will see 4 glorious years of this man restoring this country back to what the fuck it was. But that was really something else yesterday. Like, that was some really good fucking news that came out. You know, when I heard that Biden has stepped aside, he stepped down as nominee, that's probably the best fucking news anybody can have all day yesterday. That was some good news. Now, before I head out of here, before we hit our 2-hour mark, I want to talk about this because, okay. Now, I have stated in past shows, URC, Tuned In Live, I have never been a fan of actor Jack Black. Never really have been. I found him to be very corny, very obnoxious. He's a very obnoxious actor. Very cheesy actor. He overdoes his act. He overacts. That's what I'm trying to say. He overacts too much. There's a thing of, not being enough, being just right, or overdoing something. And he overdoes it in every movie that he stars in, basically. I only seen very few Jack Black movies, One that I tolerated the most was Shallow Hal. And I watched that, back in the day a few times. Was never really my favorite, but it was something that I coincide with. Then there was the Cable Guy, which was mostly driven by Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick, but Jack Black had a part in it. Tropic Thunder, I actually fell asleep during Tropic Thunder. That's sad as to say. I actually did fall asleep during that. I didn't mean to. Maybe it's because I was tired. I really want to check that movie out. School of Rock, as much as I would like to enjoy that movie, and for reasons, I just don't like that movie. That's one of those movies, that's one of those examples where he just overdoes it too much. He's just like, I don't know if he's just trying to be embarrassing bad on purpose or what. I don't care for it. Then there was the movie Saving Silverman with Jason Biggs and Steve Zahn. Jack Black was in there, of course, and he was a background character, he was like the side buddy. But you know what? I feel like with that movie at the time, that was the only movie I probably liked Jack Black in, was Saving Silverman, because just his character alone, like, he wasn't trying to overdo anything. He was just like there. He was just like that one character where it's like, yeah, I could probably relate to him in some ways, but other than that, and then of course I saw the movie Tenacious D, the Pick of Destiny, or whatever the fuck it was called, and that coincides with their rock duo group, Tenacious D, of course. The movie was all right. I'm not a fan of it. I only watched it once. I could say their music, I'm not a fan of their music. Even though I am a buff for hard rock, heavy metal, I also listen to a lot of classic stuff as well. So that's my thing right there. So yeah, going into this article, so y'all probably know what I'm getting ready to talk about. So the day after the assassination attempt on Trump. Okay. Greatest tragedy in American history right now since the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan. Remember that. So during a concert that they were having, apparently it was his bandmate's birthday, Kyle Gass. Another motherfucker I don't care to tolerate. Made a really crude comment on stage that night, where I guess they had somebody dressed as a robot come out to present him a cake. You know, it was his birthday, and Jack was like, "Make a wish, Kyle." And he stood there on camera with the microphone in hand and said, "Don't miss Trump next time," and blew out his candles. Don't miss Trump next time. When I saw that, I was like, "Yep, I've completely I was already at the point where I did not like Jack Black. I could not tolerate his acting too much. I already did not like. Also, leading up to that, the fact that Jack Black endorsed Biden, fully endorsed Biden, I was like, yeah, fuck you. You want to endorse this piece of shit that divided this country even worse, that broke this country financially? Fuck you. So it's like, not only did I lose respect for Jack Black that day, but I lost respect for both of them motherfuckers when they came out and said that. It's like, not only do I not fucking like you, I fucking hate you guys because you're pieces of shit. But you ain't, even if I had just an ounce of respect for either of you, no, I have no respect for either of you motherfuckers. If Kyle Gass came out tomorrow and said, I have colon cancer, you know what I'd say? Good. Serves you right. Karma's a bitch, ain't it? Sorry to say that. You know, people do suffer from cancer every single day. It's something you don't joke about, but you know what? If somebody like this came out and said I had cancer, fuck him. Let him die from it, you know? That's what I say. Fuck that motherfucker. Jack Black canceled his tour with band member Kyle Gass after being blindsided with a hateful comment after about the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Now, let me tell you something. And somebody stated this on TikTok, I think it was, where they say technically the tour's already canceled anyway because you are under contract with your company, whoever you work for, whoever sets up the tours, whoever sets everything up. So technically, you can't cancel the tour yourself. It's got to go through whoever your contract is under. Let's say they were under Roadrunner Records. Let's say they were under Roadrunner Records, and somebody for Roadrunner was like, okay, we're going to set you up with a tour schedule for this city, that city, this and this and that. Now, if they came out and said we want to cancel it, you got to go through them to cancel it. Or if they were under Roadrunner Records and Kyle said that, and Roadrunner was like, okay, no, we don't need that. We don't need that as an image for our company. You know, we don't need anybody in our company under our company's name and logo to come out and say something like that. Nope, you're gone. So it's more likely they were fired and all, and they were dropped from the tour. So their tour was canceled by whoever was in charge of all of that. Jack Black didn't really cancel it. He may have told them that he canceled it. What's up, Colton? He may have told them that he canceled the tour, but it's not technically Jack Black or Kyle Gass's responsibility to cancel the tour and do all that. It's up to their record label. That's what I was trying to think of. The record label, the producing company, their producers who go through, the booking stages of putting tours out there, booking tours for them. That's who canceled it. During their Tenacious D performance on a stage in Sydney, Australia. Mind you, they were in Sydney, Australia. This was part of the tour, July 14th. Kyle Gass was presented with a cake for his 64th birthday, and Black asked him to make a wish. Gass responded by saying, "Don't miss Trump next time." The comment was in response to the Saturday incident where shooter attempted to assassinate former President Donald Trump as he spoke during his campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Who do you think is going to be the next Democratic nominee this fall? It's going to be Harris and probably Newsom. Those are the only two that I'm guessing they'll probably get them in there. It'll be Harris and Newsom. Let's see. 2 people were killed, including the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, spectator, Corey Comparator, and 2 others were injured. Black responded in a social media post telling his fans that he would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. He also said that it was no longer appropriate to continue the tour. All future creative plans for the Tenacious D rock band were being put on hold. There was a plan to do several U.S. tour states in the fall, including a stop in State College, Pennsylvania in October. On Tuesday, and this is the last one. Now, mind you all, when this all happened, whoever represents Australia, they told them, you are no longer allowed in Australia or anywhere in Australia. You're banned from the country. How the fuck do you ban somebody from a continent? They fucking banned him from touring in Australia because of that. Like, that fucking amazes me that whoever runs Australia or runs Sydney and all that just amazes me that they're like, okay, you are banned from Australia. Get the fuck out. You gonna sit there and say some fucking shit like that? Get the fuck out of here. That's just too funny to me right there. God damn, there's a fucking group that fucking got banned. Banned from Australia. Banned for performing in Australia. You know what also amazes me that is fucking great in the history of heavy metal and hard rock and roll? And this is a little fact to throw out to you guys. It's just a little random fact, okay? Metallica is the first heavy metal band to perform in all 7 continents in their whole tenure. The first heavy metal band to perform in all 7 continents. That's amazing. Meanwhile, we got Jack Black and Kyle Gass over here. Oh, they're the first ones to get fucking thrown out of Australia. Oh, y'all want to sit there and talk about the shooting on Trump? Get the fuck out of here. Y'all banned. You're suspended. Get the fuck out of our lives. Let's fucking revoke your visas. You're no longer here anymore. Fuck y'all. Does Antarctica count as... Antarctica is a continent. It is. By normal geography, that's what everybody learned in schools. I don't know if they taught that to you in school, Colton, but yes, Antarctica is one of the 7 continents. You got North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, and Antarctica. Now, there are very few people that live in Antarctica. It's cold as fuck, but people have a habitat down there in Antarctica. They do live down there. Not the entire continent, but yeah, people do manage to live down there. It's like people manage to live in far north areas of Canada and Alaska. They make do. They have buildings up there. They do manage it and shit. So it all happens. So yeah, I'm gonna close this out real quick by saying on Tuesday, Gass apologized in a local media post, saying that his comment was highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. He said he doesn't condone any violence of any kind against anyone and was remorsed over his severe lack of judgment. Further backlash includes reports that he has since been dropped by his Hollywood talent agent Michael Green of Green Talent. Michael Green, isn't that kid behind the camera on YouTube? He was taught that in school, but I guess some people wouldn't. Oh yeah, yeah, they're supposed to teach that. It's normal geography. That's geography of things. You know, people do learn that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, he has been revoked by talent agencies and all that fucking kind of shit. You know, like, to me, they're both pieces of shit. I never care for Tenacious D, and I never will. But you know what? It is what it is at this point. Fuck them. They're not on tour. They're broke. Well, they might as well be broken up at this point. But anyway, guys, that's 2 hours in. It's time to let you all go. Hope you guys enjoyed today's program of Tune In Live. If you guys missed today's program, check it out on our YouTube channel, Arrow Entertainment. Hit that like and subscribe button down below. And as always, guys, thank you for being here today. Next time, Stay tuned in.
What we do here is go back.